The moving truck was already half loaded when Karen showed up. Not a Karen. The Karen, president of Willow Creek Estates HOA for 7 long, miserable years. Her heels clicked across my driveway like a countdown timer. She wasn't even trying to hide the smug smile. "You can't leave," she announced, hands on hips, chin lifted like she owned oxygen. "You never filed the proper exit request." I paused mid-box, holding a stack of photo frames. "Exit request?" "Yes," she said, waving a manicured finger toward my house. Per HOA Regulation 14C, subsection 2. Residents must submit a 60-day relocation notice for community approval. I blinked slowly. "I sold my house." "That's irrelevant," she snapped. "You still require permission to vacate the neighborhood." Behind her, the movers exchanged looks. One of them whispered, "Is she serious?" Oh, she was serious. Karen thrived on control. She fined people for wind chimes. She once issued a violation notice to a widower for excessive morning decor, because he left flowers on his porch too long. I set the frames inside the truck and faced her. "I'm moving," I said calmly. "The sale closed this morning." Her smile sharpened. "Then you're violating HOA authority." And she pulled out her phone with theatrical flair. "Then I call the police." I actually laughed. Not a chuckle. A full laugh that surprised even me. "You're calling the cops, because I'm moving out of my own house. For unlawful property abandonment and community disruption." 10 minutes later, 2 patrol cars rolled into the cul-de-sac. Neighbors peeked through curtains. Phones appeared in windows. Karen stood straighter, glowing with victory before the officers even stepped out. Officer Ramirez approached first. "What seems to be the issue?" Karen launched into a rehearsed speech about bylaws, disruption, unauthorized relocation, and community safety risks. She spoke like she was testifying before Congress. Ramirez listened politely, then turned to me. "Sir, I sold my house. I'm moving." "That's it?" he asked. "That's it." Karen scoffed loudly. "He refuses to follow governing procedure." Ramirez rubbed his temple. The second officer leaned against the cruiser, already bored. "Ma'am," Ramirez said carefully, "moving isn't a crime." Karen crossed her arms. "He is undermining the authority of this community." "This is a civil matter," Ramirez replied. "Not a police issue." Her face flushed red. "I demand enforcement." And that's when a black SUV pulled into the street. Not just any SUV. Government plates. Dark tint. Clean, quiet, official. It stopped beside the patrol cars. The driver's door opened. My son stepped out. Ethan walked with that calm, controlled posture he developed after years in federal service. Navy suit. Badge clipped at his belt. Expression neutral, eyes alert. Karen noticed the badge immediately. Her voice changed. "Oh, thank goodness," she said, hurrying toward him. "You must be the supervisor. This man is illegally relocating." Ethan looked at me, confused. "Dad." I gave a small wave. "Hi, son." Karen froze mid-sentence. Officer Ramirez blinked. "You know each other." Ethan nodded. "That's my father." Silence fell across the street like a curtain drop. Karen tried to recover. "Well, then you understand the seriousness of this violation." Ethan turned to her slowly. "Ma'am, why are local police here over a residential move?" She straightened. "Because he refuses to obey HOA law." Ethan's voice stayed calm. Too calm. HOA bylaws are not criminal statutes. He is defying authority. Your authority, Ethan corrected. The temperature of the conversation dropped about 10 degrees. Karen forced a smile. "I expect federal cooperation." Ethan didn't smile back. "Federal jurisdiction does not include homeowners associations." She opened her mouth, then closed it. I watched the realization begin to creep in. But she wasn't done. "He has a history of noncompliance," she insisted. "We've issued warnings, fines. He's been disruptive to community order." Ethan looked at me. "Dad, is there anything I should know?" I shrugged. "I didn't ask permission to leave." He exhaled slowly and turned back to Karen. "Ma'am, continuing to make false reports to law enforcement can be considered misuse of emergency services." Her confidence cracked for the first time. I was protecting the community." Officer Ramirez cleared his throat. "We're done here." Karen's voice rose. "You can't just leave. He's breaking the rules." Ramirez tipped his hat slightly. "Good luck with that in civil court." The patrol cars pulled away. The black SUV remained. Karen stood in my driveway, trembling with fury and embarrassment. "This isn't over," she hissed. "You cannot escape WA obligations." I leaned against the truck. "Watch me." She stormed off without another word. I thought that would be the end. It wasn't. 3 days later, I received a certified letter. Not a farewell notice. A bill. $8,450 in relocation penalties, community disruption fees, and administrative enforcement costs. Karen had escalated. So had my son. Ethan visited Willow Creek Estates 1 week later. Officially, he was in the area for unrelated business. Unofficially, he asked a few questions. About WA financial practices. About resident complaints. About unusual fine structures. About something Karen never expected anyone to examine closely. Where the money went. Turns out Willow Creek's WA had been collecting special enforcement fees for years. Thousands from residents. No clear accounting. No transparency. No audits. A quiet federal inquiry began. Karen didn't know, but she sensed something. She showed up at my new house 2 weeks after I moved. No heels this time. No confidence. Just anger. "You caused this," she said from the porch. "Inspectors, auditors, investigators. They're asking questions." I folded my arms. "About what?" "Our finances." "That sounds serious." Her eyes narrowed. "Call your son. Make it stop." I shook my head. "I don't control investigations. You started them." "No," I said gently. "You did. When you called the cops over a moving truck." She stared at me like she was seeing the chain reaction for the first time. Power had always worked for her because no one challenged it. Now someone had. Months passed. Residents learned the truth. Funds mismanaged. Contracts inflated. Fines selectively enforced. Records altered. The WA board dissolved under legal pressure. Karen resigned before charges were filed. Willow Creek Estates elected a new board with one simple rule. No one needs permission to leave their own home. The day I finished unpacking the last box, Ethan stopped by. He looked around the house, nodded approvingly. "Nice place, Dad." "Quiet," I said. "No bylaws about breathing." He smiled faintly. "Funny how things work out." I handed him a framed photo we found during the move. Him as a kid, holding a toy badge, declaring he'd protect people from bullies. He laughed softly. "Guess I kept my promise." "Yeah," I said. "You did." And somewhere across town, a former WA president learned a lesson she never saw coming. Authority isn't power. Accountability is.